All right, hello everyone. I guess I have to do this in portrait mode. Just going live here. It's not allowing me to switch it to landscape mode, so hope you don't mind the portrait mode portrayal. I just want to do a live. You know, I've been doing the weekly videos here, and I just feel like I need to share with you guys more what's going on in my world here as a professional portrait painter. I'm going to be getting ready, and that's what this video is mostly going to be about. I'm going to be getting ready. I am getting ready right now to teach a portrait painting workshop over at the Gathering of Artisans Conference over in North Carolina, Black Mountain, North Carolina. So I'm really excited for that. It's something spearheaded by Matt Tommy of Created to Thrive Mentoring. He's a fantastic basket weaving artist, does sculptural baskets, and very successful. And I'm a part of his Created to Thrive mentoring group. And so they sponsor a Gathering of Artisans meeting or a conference over in North Carolina once per year. And they invited me to teach a portrait painting workshop. So this is a portrait, by the way, that I did last year. I just stepped on a dog toy. Yeah, I have a Labradoodle in here, and sometimes he gets to come into the studio. That's what that squeak was. I just stepped on a dog toy. Anyway, this is a portrait I did. This is I call this Lighting and Lace. I guess its working title was Cora. You know, this is done for the Spring Portrait Painting Challenge back in 2021. So me and several other artists painted this portrait. You'll have to just excuse the construction. I just hung this on the wall. I don't even have the drywall finished yet. But I just got this picture framed. Just got this picture framed here. And so I really like how it turned out. I painted the linen liner kind of a dark greenish gray color. And then this painting, I plan on, if we can finalize things, I plan on donating this to my, or actually putting it up for sale rather, for providing for lighting at my local visual arts center. So that's the Heidi Center for the Arts, where I hold some classes locally. And I plan on making this painting available for sale. And then all the proceeds would go to improving the lighting there for their gallery at my local art center. So I'm just kind of sharing a lot of different things. I guess that's just how I am. But I'm working right now on getting prepared for this workshop. So right now I have some canvases gridded out here with 2-inch grids. Now, if you've worked with me before, you know that I teach using the gridding method. I do like freehand sketching as well, but for beginning and intermediate artists, most of them are comfortable with using a grid. It just keeps your portraits just much better in proportions. You know, you're able to get those proportions down quickly and effectively. So I have a stack here. I have a stack of different canvases that I've gridded out. So I have 9 students at this workshop, which is a good class size. Not too few, not too many. And what I like to do is I actually like to, you'll have to excuse the mess here in my studio. This is under construction here, so I have all my construction stuff here. But what I like to do is actually grid out those canvases for the students. I just find it's a lot better for them to dive right into the painting process, right into the sketching process, and not have to spend their time creating a grid. So it's just something I do. It takes me only like 3 minutes or so to grid out a canvas. And I figure that way we can be ready to dive right into the sketching process. So my next step then is to seal these in with matte medium. Now, do you have to seal in your grids, your gridded canvases with matte medium? No. You could actually just sketch right on top of it. And if you're wondering what I use, by the way, for gridding, I use a light colored pencil. This is a cold gray, very light. It's like 20% gray, Prismacolor. You can see it's down to the stub. I've been doing a lot of these here. And what we're going to do then is seal it in. But you can actually go ahead and sketch on top of it without sealing it in with matte medium. But what I found is that it's better to seal it in. One, because if you need to erase, and I don't know about you, but I tend to, screw up a little bit with my sketches. I mean, for every good line I put down, I probably put down about 9 or 10 bad lines, really, truly, I do. And so I like to be able to erase, and I found that students, have to erase as well. So if you're erasing your grid with your sketch as you're making adjustments to your sketch, then you don't know where your grid is anymore and you have to redraw it in. So I find it's helpful to just go ahead and seal it in. So the matte medium then provides a barrier. If you start erasing your sketch, no problems, because you're not going to actually erase your grid as well. Now I draw the grid very faintly, so it's easy to cover up after you've made the sketch with titanium white paint. And with that, then it's going to, meld in pretty well with the painting. Now, another reason number 2 that I like to seal in my grid is because it actually makes the surface so much easier to sketch upon. All right, so the factory gesso that they use, whatever primer they use on these canvases when you buy them at the store, it's a little glossy and it's a lot harder to sketch with colored pencil on it. But if you put matte medium, now a mixture of matte medium and gesso is good, but I find it's really the flat finish of the matte medium, because matte medium is a very, very flat finish kind of polymer medium. So it really makes it a dream to be able to sketch on this. Like when you sketch on this with a brown colored pencil, let's see, do I have some here? Colored pencils. Okay, I went shopping. This is what I like to use. I like to use burnt ochre. Okay, burnt ochre Prismacolor. So when you sketch on top of this with a canvas that's been sealed with matte medium, it's going to work way, way, way better, okay, than if you try to sketch just on top of the factory finish. So there's 2 good reasons to seal in your grid. There's probably a third, but I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I have these stacks of canvases prepared. I've got easels right here. Okay, so I bought these wooden easels, and this is my luggage here. So I'm actually going to need to take this on the plane. I'm like, how am I going to get all these painting supplies, easels and paint and canvases? How am I going to get them over to North Carolina? Originally, I was thinking of having the students, purchase their own, but it's just a challenge to go shopping for things. You don't know exactly what it is. And a lot of times, students will buy, well, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but there's a risk that they would buy craft paint. And if you have craft paint, it's just going to be terrible. I have actually had some students use different mediums like gloss mediums and gel mediums and retardant mediums, and none of those work very well for the acrylic glazing technique. All right, so I actually bought these easels from Hobby Lobby, and these are just foldable easels like this, and they hold a 16 by 20 canvas really, really nicely. And you can just set this up, move it back like that, and just drop it in right here, and it will, well, I have to move this over a bit. Let's try that. So it'll hold this really, really nicely. And it even has this handy thing on the top where it clamps it right into place. All right, so each student is going to get one of these easels, and I have them all packed up here inside of my suitcase. So I have to fit this. I have to fit some paint, brush sets, water containers, all of these things. And so that's going to be the challenge, is going on this trip here, taking all this stuff. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to teaching this class over in North Carolina. And hopefully I can get some video footage. It'd be nice if I could bring my camcorder. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, a camcorder and a tripod, and try to capture some footage there so I can share it here on this channel. But if nothing else, I'll just have my iPhone and I'll walk around as I'm critiquing paintings and looking at the students' work, and get their permission, of course. and then share some of that with you. So I just want to do a live impromptu video here. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. I'm actually thinking of just kind of doing a video like every day. I might not actually get to it every day, but having a goal of doing a video every day and just kind of sharing what's going on in the studio. Just keeping in touch with you more on this channel. Doing more of the 30-minute portraits like I've done in the past, the 30-minute acrylic portraits. They're just so fun to do, and I want to get back to that and do those early in the morning to kind of kick off my art day. And I just got a comment here. Let's see if I can see that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sure where that went to. I'll reply to that comment later. I think it was Tanya. Thank you for that comment, Tanya. It just kind of popped up on my screen and then disappeared, but thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. Oh, Tanya, doing an awesome job. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I want to be in touch with you guys more, share more, give you more value as far as teaching you how to do acrylic portrait painting. You know, and then I'm also a fine artist, and I've got lots of projects that I'm working on, and I want to share those with you too. You know, I hope to get back to more of my painting projects, commission work, and then some of the ideas that I feel God has put on my heart to paint, paintings of prayer, and just share all that stuff with you more. So a lot of the videos I plan on putting out are not going to be polished. They're just going to be kind of impromptu, and then I'll try to do a few that are more edited and, you know, a little bit more pleasant to watch, I guess you could say. But I just want them mostly to be full of value for you, to help you become a better portrait painter. And if you're watching this channel and you're an art appreciator, you're not an artist yourself, then I want to share the process with you so that you can be encouraged with beautiful portraits that really depict God's glory as it pertains to personal relationships, people with people, and then relationships from people to God. So anyway, just want to share all of that with you. We got Alan here. Alan, you're in Eau Claire. Oh, are you? Are you in Eau Claire? I didn't know you were in Eau Claire. You know, it's kind of interesting. I went to vote in a local election here in Chippewa Falls on Tuesday. There's this primary election for selecting candidates for the fall. And there was a worker there, and she's just asking me about all these different things, asking me about, you know, where I live in my studio, and asking me just about my art. And I'm like, do I know you? And then I looked at her name badge, and her name was Anita, and I realized, oh, well, I've seen you on Facebook all the time. She's always commenting on my work. I didn't realize she lived in the same town I did. Anyway, just got another comment pop up here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get these to show up here. They pop up and then they disappear. I'm not a pro at doing live videos, so maybe I'll do some more and get better at it. Lives are kind of fun, but I don't know why I can't see your comments here. They just kind of disappear. Oh, there we go. Ah, figured it out. I can see them all now. Janet says, that was a little while ago, what part of North Carolina are you in? Yeah, what part of North Carolina are you in? So I'm not in North Carolina. I live over in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Actually, in the rural part of Chippewa Falls. It's technically Chippewa Falls, but I live in the town of Lafayette. It's about 8 miles east of Lake Hallie, Chippewa Falls. It's in the Eau Claire area. Let's see. Yeah, maybe Alan was just answering my question. Okay, and Tanya says she's in Texas. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Texas is great. You know, Matt Tommy, the artist I'm going to be doing work with at the Gathering of Artisans, he just moved to Texas too. So I don't know if you're in his group, but it's just kind of interesting. All right, well, I want to share this with you. Like I say, I just want to communicate more with you and share more with you, just provide greater value to you as a fellow artist. So I'm going to get going now, get back to work on sealing in. Actually, let's just show you this before I get going, before I get going here, like I said, this is very, very impromptu. I want to show you how I seal in my gridded canvases, okay? Now you can see these grid lines, right? Super, super light. And these days what I've been trying to do is just seal them in with matte medium, not matte medium and gesso like I used to. So I'm trying to draw them in really light so I don't have to mix gesso in. And all I do is I just take the container and I just simply go like this and I just kind of squirt some on. It's just a lot easier. Then I take my 3-inch or 2-inch brush and I just brush it out. Gotta move this out of the way. And basically just go like this. It's pretty simple. Just brush it diagonally, whatever way you need to spread it across. Sometimes you need to use a little more. I probably could have used a little more than this, but this will work. Okay, so once you have this encapsulated, once you have enough matte medium covering it, it's not going to smear it. So you can see the grid line has not smeared. All right, you can still see everything very clearly. It's a little bit of glare, but see that? See that? Nothing is smeared. So it's just a really quick way to do it, just to squirt it on there, just like glue, and just apply it. Try to get it over the whole thing just so I can sketch it nice. And then you should probably, sometimes little chunks of matte medium get in there. I don't know why that is. But then just brush it straight. Really fast, kind of a light stroke. And vertical strokes, you want to brush it with the orientation of the canvas. I think Alan said something here. Let's pull this up. Alan says, I'm wondering about sketching in my ideas. I use pastel or charcoal to lay them out on my canvas. Oh wow, this only shows up for like 2 seconds. Let me see. Use pastel or charcoal to lay them out on my canvas. Worried about sealing them in if using the glazing technique. Okay, so yeah, that's a good comment, good question, Alan. So the thing is with the glazing technique, well, with sealing in, charcoal really smears quite a bit. I used to use charcoal pastel pencils about 5 or 6 years ago because I found that graphite just really smeared a lot. You'd think it would work well, but graphite, you know, if you're sketching, it gets on the side of your hand and it's very, very difficult to erase. It really embeds itself in the weave of the canvas. So I found that graphite was very annoying, very frustrating to sketch with. And then I switched to pastel pencil because I just had some. You know, I used to do pastel years ago and it was sitting in my box of tools. So I'm like, let's try pastel pencil and see how it works. And I found pastel pencil was super, super easy to be able to sketch with. Very, very easy to erase. But the problem is it smears super, super easily. So pastel pencil, you have to be careful with it. You can use it, Alan, but what you want to do is spray it, you know, get a little pump sprayer, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about, like a hairspray bottle. You can buy them actually at your local arts and crafts store. They sell clear little pump spray bottles, not the garden sprayers that go like this, but the ones that go like that on the top. And so what you want to do is mix, you know, matte medium and water together, about 50-50. And put it in one of those sprayers and then spray your canvas. Lay it out, you know, flat on the table like this, and then just spray it. All right. About probably 8 to 12 inches away, just spray it. You know, just like that. Okay. Cover the whole thing, let it dry, and then let it dry for maybe, I don't know, half an hour. Make sure all the little areas that are glossy are flat and it's dry to the touch. And then go ahead and maybe spray it one more time. All right. And then after that, it should be good to go. You'd be able to go ahead and brush on top of it with matte medium, just like I showed you right here. You can squirt on top of it, brush it out, and it shouldn't smear. I like to use colored pencil because colored pencil is still better. I find there's still a little bit of smearing with the pastel pencil, even when you spray it. But with colored pencil, it doesn't smear at all if you do the same method. Plus, when you're sketching, it doesn't smear. You know, I find that pastel pencil smears a lot during the sketching process, especially when you put your hand on the canvas. You know, you're resting it on the canvas as you're drawing. And if you're doing some freehand work, doing a lot of detail, it's pretty easy to smear it up. So for that reason, I would recommend using colored pencil. And I think you're going to find these will work way, way better. And if you prepare the canvas using matte medium, put a layer of matte medium on top and let it dry, this erases really, really easily, surprisingly easy. So give it a shot, try it out. Okay, I don't know if we had any other comments here. I just want to see. Okay, Alan says, really want to learn the process, but I'm an acrylic artist. No, I was in Eau Claire. Oh, you were in Eau Claire. Got it. Okay. You live in Fort Lauderdale. Awesome. Beautiful town. Yeah, I actually know an artist from Fort Lauderdale, Bob Jenny. He was a muralist. I used to work with him about 20 years ago, painting murals in Fort Bragg, Fort Lee, Virginia. He was a well-known mural artist in Fort Lauderdale. He passed away, though, like almost 20 years ago. But I worked with him when I was much younger. And yeah, Fort Lauderdale, beautiful city. I've been there. Anyway, well, I'm going to get going. Yeah, like I said, just wanted to be in touch with you guys here. And thanks for all the comments. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do more lives like this in the future. Maybe I'll actually have a topic that I can talk about or teach about. But it's kind of cool just to meet with you guys live. All right, I'm going to get going. God bless. Thanks for joining today. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.